Big news for LSU late Wednesday afternoon as five-star defensive back DJ Pickett announces his commitment to the Tigers in a shocking move to a lot of people over the likes of Oregon and Miami. We welcome you in to the Go 24/7 Instant Reaction Commitment Podcast. My name is Bryce Koon, the host of this, and we're rocking and rolling on YouTube. You can find us wherever you like to listen to your podcast as well. And we are recording this a little bit later. DJ Pickett committed as I'm waiting to get on my flight back from SEC Media Days from Dallas into New Orleans. The wife picked me up back to Baton Rouge and recording this here on Wednesday evening. You're probably watching or listening to this on Thursday morning. But this is massive news. And I'm going to get into why I think this is really big just in terms of LSU and the brand value. But first off, let's talk a little bit about who DJ Pickett is. This guy is he's a dog, and Corey Raymond really wanted DJ Pickett, and DJ Pickett really wanted to play for Corey Raymond. And a combination, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, a combination of NIL and relationships is why LSU won this battle. Not the war. Recruiting still continues, not until the ink is dry on National Signing Day, and a lot of times even after that. But the first big hurdle, getting him to commit, that is won by Corey Raymond, Brian Kelly, and this LSU staff. So let's take a look at who DJ Pickett is. From the Tampa, Florida area, a five-star. We've got him listed at 24/7 as a safety. He can also play corner as well. He is the third-ranked corner in the country per 24/7, a top 10 player and the number one player in the Sunshine State per the 24/7 composite ranking. For those people not familiar, that takes in a wide variety of different recruiting services. He is the sixth best player in the country, the number 2 cornerback in the country, and the number 1 player in the state of Florida. We're going to read you the scouting report real quick, and then I'm going to kind of get to look at some of the film. But Andrew Ivins got the chance to watch this young man a couple of weeks ago, actually, and this is what he had to say. He is a lanky two-way playmaker, Ivins says, that allows the mind to get pretty creative when it comes to identifying potential roles, but warrants a look as a field corner given one-of-a-kind frame and quick-twitched lower half. He measured right about 6'4", 180 pounds the summer before his senior season, making him one of the tallest defensive backs to come out of the high school ranks in recent cycles. We know Corey Raymond likes length. He likes guys that can really use that, especially on the field side as well. He's been an impact guy both as a receiver and a deep safety. He has what it takes to emerge as a true game breaker as well. If he's going to be asked to police the alleys out of a 1-high or 2-high posting, well, see, the game tape really kind of suggests that he must get better at embracing the contact aspect. Overall, Andrew Ivins says, the 24/7 Sports Director of Scouting, that he should be viewed as one of the more unique prospects in the 2025 cycle as he checks off box after box with all of his tools. It's not the cleanest projection at this stage. He's likely to face some initial adjustment period, as is everybody, when he gets to the next level. But he has power for all-conference upside and is a black swan type of athlete that will draw the attention of NFL scouts. Andrew Ivins gave him the comp of Nahshon Wright, the Dallas Cowboys defensive back. And look, you look at what DJ Pickett brings to the table. We're going to take a look at this here in just a second, but I wanted to hit on this. This was a recruitment that had a lot of variables around it. Pickett went into the LSU official visit back in the month of June. A lot of people felt good about it, us included at Go 24/7, but you always have to understand the likes of what you're going up against. The two programs that you were going against in this race, if you're LSU, Oregon and Miami. We've heard what Dan Lanning has there with the Phil Knight special of limitless NIL resources. We know what Miami can throw around down there in South Florida. And look, this is a Florida kid, the chance to put on, for the in-state program and stay close to home. Relatively, Tampa and Miami not too close to each other, but it's a lot closer than Baton Rouge. So I think that for LSU to dip down into the state of Florida and to win a battle against two current NIL powers in this sport is massive. It's huge. I love this pickup just in terms of what DJ Pickett brings to the table, and we're going to talk about his tape in a second. But don't get me wrong. Getting a player like DJ Pickett at a position of dire need is huge. LSU needed that. But what does this show me from a standpoint of what the Tigers can do in future recruitments? It tells me that when push comes to shove, when they want their guy and the evaluations are across the board, everybody's on the same page in that building, They are going to do absolutely what it takes to go get that guy. Whether it's NIL, whether it's relationship, whether it's in-home visits, whatever it is, that's what Brian Kelly and this LSU staff answered by getting the commitment of DJ Pickett. I think that's huge. I think it's absolutely massive after a couple of whiffs in the portal, after some, conversation if Corey Raymond is really going to be that guy again for this Tiger program. But he answered a big question here. And DJ Pickett said as much during his live recruitment, saying he wanted to play for Corey Raymond. If you want to be a DB, he believes that LSU is the place to be. That speaks volumes about what LSU needs and what LSU wants to continue to build in this new iteration of DBU. It's great what you had in the the early 2010s and all throughout those years, but you have to be able to do that again. You bring in a guy who is very successful in doing that, and you land the marquee player on the market in terms of high school recruiting in DJ Pickett. So wanted to add that in there because this is a massive piece to the puzzle. This is a big, big win for the LSU brand. And people might say, well, Bryce, the LSU brand is already big as is. I get that. I understand that. But in terms of keeping the moniker of DBU, you had to show me something. Two things. Can you still reel in the five-star talent? Check the box. Now can you do it on the field? That's the box that we have to see checked this fall. But let's take a look at the tape here. We're going to take a look at the tape as I think that when you see what DJ Pickett can bring to the table, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. This is a guy like, Andrew Ivins talked about. He's just got a lot of skill. And, he has the ability to be an impact player at a level of the defense that LSU desperately, desperately needs. You see his ranginess, his ability to make plays, just his overall ability, I think, to force quarterbacks into decision making. Now, obviously, here he's going to play a lot of single high safety, occasionally being a cover two, but this is a guy who can read the quarterback. He is very, very tall. He's got great length, like Andrew Ivins talked about. And you look at what he is. I mean, we've got him there 6'4", around 180 pounds. That is the definition prototype of an NFL cornerback. So I think when you looked at his ability to high point the football, to make plays, there's going to be an adjustment period. Don't get me wrong about that. But when you take what this guy can do, when you take the raw ability, his floor is going to be higher of other guys that you're going to bring in. So can now you develop him between Jake Olson, Blake Baker, and Corey Raymond? Can you develop this guy into what he should be? And like Andrew Evans said, and I wholeheartedly agree, a all SEC type of player with the potential to be a day one pick. This is what this kid can be. Now, whether he reaches that potential is going to depend a lot on what happens when he gets to Baton Rouge. So I am very, very much impressed with LSU's ability to get him. I'm impressed with his gameplay, just what he can do. And, his ability to play offense, too, is something that we ask all of these kids. Is it something you want to do at the next level? How does that look? What are you able to do with that? And I'm sure at some point he might want to be able to have some play drawn up for him as well. But he's an impact player. The kid out of Tampa, Zephyr Hills. I mean, this is just going to be – it's going to be really, really fun to watch this young man suit up for the purple and gold. Now, let's kind of take a break here and let's talk about what is next. What's next for LSU in this look into what they can do? Okay, you have the big haul in DJ Pickett. But like Cortez Hankton said, and, there's some social media rumors kicked up, late into Wednesday evening. They're not done yet. Now, if you look at this weekend, it's massive. You got DJ Pickett in the fold. Can you keep Jabari Antoine home? That is going to be the big storyline heading into the weekend. Derek Meadows, another highly rated receiver. LSU's kind of swung and missed on a couple of receivers. Is Derek Meadows a guy where you can be able to get him in the fray? A lot of signs point to maybe LSU's in the lead for that race. This could be a massive recruiting weekend or a couple of days, we'll say 4 or 5 days, for this Tiger program in terms of setting themselves up for the fall. DJ Pickett's the first dominant of fall. Does Jabari Antoine fall into the hands of LSU once again or back into the arms of the Tigers coaching staff? And does Derek Meadows? And when you start taking a look at that, folks, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You start to look at premium positions, those money-making positions in the NFL. LSU's checking the boxes with elite talent. Quarterback, yes. Running back, yes. They need receiver. Meadows would fit that mold. Safety / corner, defensive back in general. They've got Pickett. Can they bring in Antoine? They've already got Jace Thomas. Aiden Anding's another guy that folks need to keep an eye on. When you look at how this class could form, I'm telling you, this defensive back class could be really, really fun. If you can you've already gotten Pickett, you've gotten Jace Thomas. If you can add Jabari Antoine back into the fray and bring in Aiden Anding, you have pieces that might be able to contribute right away, as well as developmental in-state pieces that are more likely to stay in the fray as the multiple years in the program. So love what LSU has done so far. It could be a massive week. It's primed to be an interesting next couple of days. And it's a good reason for you to stay subscribed to this YouTube channel if you're not already. If you're finding this for the first time, we're Go 24/7, the LSU arm of all things Tigers football, basketball, baseball, and everything in between on the 24/7 Sports Network. And my name's Bryce Koon, the host of this little pseudo commitment reaction show that we do. Make sure you check out the website. Great stuff from myself, Glenn West, and Sonny Ship as well. And we will catch you next time. But the big news, DJ Pickett is an LSU Tiger. You got to get him to sign his name on the paper. But do not mistake it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a massive, massive get in terms of adding talent to your roster, but getting the image and getting that brand value back up there for LSU. Really love the job that Corey Raymond did on this. And man, that's a big win for LSU and this program. We'll catch you next time here on the Go 24/7 podcast.